All right. Let's make sure we are. Let me see here. I'm gonna turn these off. Okay, I think we're back up and running. Let me check the stream real quick. Lightning struck and took out our stream there. Let me see. Make sure everything looks good here. I think everything's looking good. What I did see on this Lowry City, I think the velocity was starting to speed up on this one. Yeah, so we've got a pretty broad rotation here, but it is very strong. Just right here in Lowry City. Let's make sure that we're taking shelter if we're in Lowry City. There to the south of Lowry City. This could be putting down a tornado any minute if it is not already. Rotation's pretty broad up here, but it is still rotating pretty heavily. Let's go down here to Stillwell. So these are the two tornadoes. Like I said, they finally put on a tornado warning to the northern side of this. Hopefully you guys took shelter when we called that out here in Barber and these areas through here. Make sure that if you're in this area here in Rocky Mountain, you're kind of in between two rotating areas of the storm. We've got rotation right here as well up here. This one's rotating a little more. So if you're in Tailholt or Wailulu, Spade Mountain, Titanic, any of these areas, make sure we're taking shelter immediately. They've extended this tornado warning on this one. If you're in Stillwell, make sure we're taking shelter. In Salem, Cherry Tree, Blank, and Marietta, we need to be taking shelter immediately. Let's come back down here to near Red Oak. This was a tornado that was on the ground over here in Wilburton. Let's take a look at it real quick. This isn't looking as good as it did. I think it's kind of fizzling out here, but still take shelter if you're in any of these areas inside the tornado polygon. McCurtain, Stingler, Kenita, I think it is, Red Oak. Make sure we're taking shelter. If you're in Bokoshi, make sure we're taking shelter as well on this one. We still have a hook echo down here. It wouldn't surprise me if we start to get some rotation here. It looks like we have some inflow coming in at this area. Let's take a look at velocity real quick. It wouldn't surprise me. This will be the new rotation. It's going to kind of die off. This is occluded up into the storm, and it looks like it'll probably be here on the southern edge of the tornado polygon and going to be moving off to the northeast. So if you're in Fanshawe, Caston, and Walls, and Kennedy, make sure we are taking shelter immediately. It would not surprise me the storm's going to continue to put down a potential tornado. And with this nice little hook it's forming right here, it would not surprise me if we get a tornado put down right in this area. Let's make sure we are taking shelter on that one. Looks like we have another tornado warning up here in Kansas. Let's take a look at rotation. It is definitely not rotating a ton here, but this is where the rotation is. So if you guys are in between Hesdale and Eskridge, make sure we're taking shelter. It looks like there's maybe some subdivisions out here by Wanbonsi Pines Golf Course. This is where the rotation is going to potentially be, and it's going to be moving in your direction. So a lot of these storms here on the backside of this main line of storms, if these get discrete, I think some of these over here have the potential to become tornadic. So this one does have rotation here. Let's take a look at what it looks like here. So yeah, this is the one we were calling out earlier whenever it was down here past Fairfax, calling out Webb City and stuff. This one could produce a tornado. It's not looking fantastic, but it does have a severe thunderstorm warning. It is rotating right here, so it would not surprise me. They'll probably put a tornado warning on this here shortly. Make sure we're getting to our safer areas if at all possible. If you're over here in Silverdale, make sure we're taking shelter. Maple City, Tassig, and Cedar Vale. This is where this rotation is going to be heading your way. Make sure we're taking shelter immediately. This is probably going to be issued a tornado warning if this tightens up any more than it already is. So let's go ahead and just be prepared for this to potentially become tornado warned. Um, Inch and a half, ping pong size hail on that one. We're kind of jumping around across all of these locations. We're gonna see what we can. We're gonna be trying to see if we can catch any of these as they spin up. So if we're taking a look at this here on reflectivity, it would not surprise me if we have a tornado on one of these hooks here. I feel like it's recycling. The one before went up into the storm, so we're going to keep an eye over this over the next few scans. Let's take a look at this one up here in Stillwell. Velocity, we have a pretty decent velocity here and here as well, so there was 2 areas of rotation. If you're anywhere in Stillwell, make sure we're taking shelter. Stony Point, Marietta, Fairfield, and England. Peavine, make sure we're taking shelter. All the areas within this tornado polygon could be under the gun. This is where the rotation currently is, and it's moving off to the northeast. Okay, let's see here. Let's take a look at the ones that are still up in Missouri, up here in Lowry City. This is a pretty big cell we got up here in Missouri, so we're going to want to take a look at this and make sure that this is still a very large rotation here over Lowry City. If you're in Lowry City, make sure we're taking shelter here. This is going to be moving off to the northeast, and it looks like it's going to be heading in the direction of Niska Park and Mount Zion. If you're on Fox Run, make sure we are taking shelter. Browns Ford. This is kind of where the rotation's happening here. We have our velocity couplet pretty wide, but extremely fast wind speeds rotating there. Let's see here. It looks like we've lost that warning up here in up here near Topeka. I still think we need to be keeping an eye on this storm here, as this one I think could spawn a tornado warning as it kind of restructures itself. Let me see here. I've got to get a little bit of air coming. All right. I think we have a camera over here in potentially Fort Smith as it's moving that direction. Same thing here. Let me see if I can get some cameras over here in Arkansas as it crosses the Arkansas border. We're going to be able to take a look at this. These are kind of embedded supercells in the line here. We had some rotation on this lower cell. They kind of occluded. We're waiting to see if it kind of reformulates, and that's what I thought. I think it's going to come out here. This is going to be the new area of rotation. I think this is where the new area of rotation. This is occluded up into the storm, so I would assume they're going to eventually, if this rotation continues, we're going to get a new tornado warning kind of in this area here. So if you're in Shady Point or in Kennedy, make sure we're taking shelter. Calhoun, this is an area of interest. This is where the storm's potentially going to be recirculating a new tornado. We can see here on reflectivity, we've got a kind of an appendage coming out. It could end up forming down here as well. We'll just have to see as this moves off to the northeast. Going to come back up here to Missouri and Lowry City. We do have a massive ball of rotation right here. This is where the tornado would be if we have a tornado on the ground. If you're just northeast of Lowry City going towards Mount Zion, make sure we're taking shelter. Let me see if we have any debris signature on this storm. It says it's loading. I'm not seeing a definitive debris signature, but it seems like it might be coming together with that latest scan. These are getting much tighter, so this thing is recirculating and potentially trying to put down a tornado here north of Lowry City. Make sure we're taking shelter immediately on this. If you were in the vicinity of Lowry City, Mount Zion, Finney, it's moving off to the northeast. If you're in Tightwad, Racket, or Teal Bend, this should be an extended warning as it crosses over. The next city that's going to be coming through is Mount Zion. Make sure we're taking shelter here. If you're in the Mount Zion, near the Mount Zion Cemetery, Mount Zion Baptist Church. Let me see. Let me try to get a camera over here on on one of these tornado warnings. We can get a good view on it. So yeah, this is coming together. It's getting much tighter on the velocity couplets. It would not surprise me if we start to get a correlation coefficient showing debris signature. This might be it right here. So like I said, if you're in Mount Zion or Finney, make sure we are taking shelter immediately. It's a very serious situation. That debris, or that velocity couplet is super tight now, completely touching. It would not surprise me if we have a tornado initiating or on the ground currently, right here at Highway NN, moving off to the northeast. The next location is going to be moving straight for Mount Zion, Niska Park, any of this area in here. We need to be taking shelter. If you're in Finney or Fox Run, make sure we're taking shelter. We're going to wait for the next scan. We'll go back up there and take a look at that one. That one is extremely concerning as it has a high potential with how strong those velocity couplets are to produce a tornado. So let's keep an eye on that. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one for just a moment. Yes, this is definitely going to be a tornado on the ground, moving towards Mount Zion. When we get these reds and greens, we can see this big area of rotation, winds coming towards and away from the radar. This is moving extremely quickly to the northeast. These are now connected. We can see the reds touching the green here. This is an extremely tight couplet of velocity signatures, so we probably have a tornado on the ground right here around NN. All right, let's go back down here into Oklahoma and take a look at these storms again. This is a very, very big bend. So if you are in Piney, Peavine, Dutch Mills, or anywhere in the vicinity, make sure we're taking shelter. This isn't a tornado warning. This was 2, and it looks like they've kind of just combined to make the one larger area here. So make sure we're taking shelter. If you're anywhere in this area, Piney, Dutch Mills, make sure we're taking shelter. These have all kind of made embedded supercells, a big long line of very strong to severe supercells here. Anytime we get little kinks or hooks in this line, will give the potential for tornado genesis. So as we look up and down this, see McCurtain here. And this storm might be getting its act together if you're up here, Granola, near Granola. I would assume if if this gets much tighter on velocity signatures in this storm, I would assume they're going to put some sort of tornado warning on this storm here going into Kansas. Any of these small cells here on the backside, I would highly be concerned about these over here by Westport. As these continue to grow and potentially spin up, they are discrete supercells with the potential of creating much larger tornadoes than we're going to see on these larger lines potentially. So as these move off to the northeast, let's take a look at this one again and kind of see where we're at with velocity on this. So this is where the rotation is. If you are northeast of Fairfield, this is where the rotation is here on the velocity. It's going to be moving off to the northeast into the Piney area. Go ahead and see if there is a potential debris signature here. There might be a debris signature, a small debris signature right here northeast of Fairfield. If it lines up with the velocity couplet, which is right here, we probably have a small tornado on the ground if you're just here northeast of Fairfield, moving off towards Piney. Let's go back up here to the Missouri storm. This one is just north of Lowry City. And it kind of tightens up and then it gets a little loose again. If we have a tornado, it's going to be in this area right here. Right here near NN. Makes me think this velocity's kind of loosened up here just a little bit because this was much tighter here just a little bit ago. But a lot of time what happens on these storms is they kind of they recycle, they regenerate themselves. So it would not surprise me if that's kind of what it's going through right now. I feel like it's kind of lightened up a little bit on the velocity signature, kind of got a little broader, but it would not surprise me if we have a tornado potentially on the ground or trying to produce a tornado right here just outside of Mount Zion. So if you're in Mount Zion, make sure we're taking shelter. We've been calling that out here for a little while. You've had plenty of time to take shelter. It's going to be moving off to the northeast. Any of these areas need to be on the lookout. Mount Zion actually isn't in a tornado warning yet. National Weather Service is probably trying to make sure this velocity is going to pick back up. Still got 1 inch hail on the severe thunderstorm warning on this one. These are very high winds though in the area of this supercell thunderstorm. Go take a look down here. So I want to go take a look at the one over there. So these seem like it's kind of picking up on velocity signature here. Like I said, I think we have a tornado on the ground here. We keep having this little bit of kind of debris. It looks like it's gotten a little bit bigger now. So let's make sure that we are taking shelter if we're in this area. This is a serious situation. These storms are very strong, capable of producing tornadoes, large hail, and it looks like we might have a tornado on the ground just here at the Arkansas border. It's going to be crossing over and be heading towards Lincoln. So if you're here on Highway 59 or just north of Dutch Mills, this is where that tornado is going to be. It's going to be moving off to the northeast, so it's going to be moving almost directly in line with from Piney into Lincoln, Arkansas. I would like to take a look at this one. This one's very concerning because it's kind of a discrete cell off here behind the main line of storms, but it looks like it's kind of lightened up on the rotation. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on this one over here just outside of Tulsa as well. If this one starts to rotate, it could be a pretty large problem. I'd say the one that's the most concerning right now is the one up here in Lowry City in Missouri. Moving off to the north. He did finally put a tornado warning on this one up here. I believe it is getting tighter here. We can see this nice little couplet it's forming here just south of Mount Zion. It's going to be in this area right here. So just to the south of Z Highway. Moving towards Findlay. Let's take a look over the last few frames what this... so we can kind of see it here. So it was really tight out here, just over by Highway NN. It kind of recirculated here, and it's getting a little tighter again. So it wouldn't surprise me if it tries putting down another tornado right here around Z Highway, moving off to the northeast just south of Tightwad. That's a great name for a town. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let me check the stream real quick. Gonna wait on a new scan here to go check on all these storms. This one's probably the most concerning out of all of them right now. Has the potential to put down a much larger tornado, I believe. So here, this one's picking up on the velocity signatures here on this storm. Just here northeast of Piney, we can see it right here. Which we know this one's been on the ground. It had a debris signature earlier, so yep, this is a tornado on the ground. This is a CC drop we have right here. It is on the ground, right on the Arkansas Oklahoma border, right near Snake Mountain. If you're in Sugar Tree Mountain or in the vicinity, make sure we are taking shelter. This is a tornado on the ground, putting down a debris signature right here. We can see it on screen. So this kind of started out as a small little debris signature, and it's moving off to the northeast. We've seen it right here move through Piney, tornado on the ground, and it's picking up steam and putting down a much larger debris signature, having almost a northward turn. So if you're in Summers or to the south of Summers, make sure we're taking shelter. This might be coming your way. As we see over the last few scans, it's kind of taken a northward turn. This is an observed tornado. Somebody has seen this tornado on the ground. Let me see if I can get potentially a view of this storm as it moves towards Lincoln. So we do have an inflow. We can see here how this storm's kind of notched out right here. This is a bunch of wind flowing into the storm, powering that tornado. If that gets cut off, it will kill the tornado. But for right now, we do have a tornado on the ground here, just outside of Lincoln, in between Lincoln and Westville. If you're in Summers or in between Summers and Lincoln or in the town of Lincoln, make sure we're taking shelter immediately. Just up from that, in Rhea, in Viney Grove, Savy, make sure we are taking shelter. This is a tornado on the ground, an observed tornado. I'm going to see if we can get some sort of view here of that storm, but this is a confirmed tornado moving off to the northeast. We have a velocity signature here. You can see that right there. It picked up a lot on velocity here. It actually put down a pretty decent and sizable debris signature. I'm going to go and see if there's a potential houses in this area. I think there might be. Let's go check on our storm up here in Missouri. This is very concerning. This is getting a much tighter signature here. So if you're in Finney, make sure we're taking shelter immediately. This is a serious situation. This is a big storm that keeps trying to produce a tornado. So if you're anywhere in that vicinity in Finney and Teal Bend, Racket, Tightwad, make sure we're taking shelter. Yes, over the last few scans, this thing is getting much more on the velocity signature. It's much more concerning here. We really need to try to... This one's extremely concerning. Let me see what we got on correlation. We have a tornado on the ground. Right here in Finney, we have debris signature on correlation coefficient. It's moving off to the northeast. If you are in Finney, you need to be taking shelter. If you're over here just north of Z Highway, heading up southeast, this farm road, 1231, this is a tornado on the ground, throwing debris in the air. This is a very large storm up here. This will probably be put, if that continues to put down debris on the ground here, they're probably going to put that as a PDS tornado warning. This tornado is right in this area, just outside of Mount Zion, near Z Highway. Yeah. Let's see where that debris signature. It should be right here. Yeah. We'll see over the next scan as it moves off to the northeast, and we'll go back down there. I believe they just put a PDS on this. Let me see. Just an observed tornado. So this is a tornado on the ground. A tornado warning for Benton County, central Missouri. It's a radar confirmed tornado, and they're getting that from this debris signature on the correlation drop, the CC drop here, just in Findlay. Let's go ahead and this is a very serious situation. If you're in Racket, this thing could continue to put down or grow. It is a very large system here in Missouri, moving off to the northeast towards Tightwad, in between Tightwad and Warsaw. If you're in any of these areas, make sure we're taking shelter. This is where the debris signature is. This is where the velocity couplet is, just to the north side, kind of going through Finney. Go back down here. This one's moving into the... We'll go back up there and look at that one here in just a minute. Heading off towards Farmington. This one was also had a debris signature on it as well. We'll see what's happened with this one as it moves off to the northeast. So this is probably the debris signature right here. We had a debris signature over here by Piney, and it was moving northeast, and it looks like it actually... It's weird. It was right here in Piney, and then it took a northward jump, which put down a big debris signature, and then as it moved off, it came back to the southern side. So we have a debris signature right out here by Clad. That's why we need to be always concerned about this tornado polygon. It can move anywhere, and it's putting down an even bigger debris signature again, just north of Clad, Cane Hill. This is very serious. Anywhere in this area, if we're up just south of Lincoln, near Prairie Grove, Vine Grove, Walnut Grove, if you're in Hubbard, this thing is making a weird movement, weird pattern. So make sure we're taking shelter if we're anywhere in the vicinity of Clyde. This tornado can move up and down this line. As we can see here, this is a kind of a long line. We've got a big inflow notch right here feeding the storm, and this is where that tornado is. So typically this is an embedded supercell right here. It has a tornado in here. So this is where that tornado is going to be, and it's going to be moving off to the northeast, probably just south or through Prairie Grove. If you're in the area, make sure we're taking shelter. These are all severe thunderstorm warnings, just based on heavy rain, large hail, and it says 60-mile-an-hour winds. I'm going to go take a look at the Warsaw storm again. This one might be trying to recirculate here. It was over here next to Finney, and it's moving up here. It looks like there's another bit of rotation starting to form up here. Let's see storm relative. Looks like there's another bit of circulation happening here, just north of Warsaw, in between Lincoln and Warsaw. Go ahead and see the correlation coefficient. This was 1 on the ground. So here's the debris signature. This was at 7:22, so just 1 minute ago. This thing is on the ground heading right for Teal Bend. If you were in the Teal Bend area, you need to be taking shelter immediately. There's a lot of campgrounds out here. That is extremely concerning. This is a time of year a lot of people are camping. If you were up here in Missouri near Teal Bend, there's a tornado warning with a tornado on the ground. We have a deep debris signature with a CC drop here just south of Teal Bend. It's probably going to be making its way right through Teal Bend into the Max Camp. So there's a ton of campgrounds out here just south of T Highway. If you're in the Max Camp area, T Highway, moving up here near Warsaw Municipal Airport. This is where this tornado is going, and it's getting large. It's getting much larger. So this is, let me see where that debris signature is. So it's right here, which is that new rotation forming here. Keep an eye on this one. This one's putting down a very sizable tornado right now. This is up here by Lincoln and Warsaw, just northeast of Lowry City. This is another tornado. This thing just took a super big northward turn. This thing's moving all over the place. It started over here at Piney, went up, went back down to Clyde, and went back up. This debris signature's been all over the place. It looks like we're moving towards Interstate 62. The debris signature is right here near Apple Hill Road and Greasy Valley Road, just to the southwest of Prairie Grove. If you were in Prairie Grove, Viney Grove, Walnut Grove, any of these areas, we need to be taking shelter immediately. This is a tornado on the ground. This is not just a tornado warning. This is not just radar indicated. This tornado is on the ground right now, producing damage. It is throwing things into the air. The radar is picking that up through the correlation coefficient and telling us something is on the ground right here, throwing debris up. This is a very big inflow notch right here. So this is a supercell right here, and an embedded supercell in this line. This is where the tornado is occurring. And this thing could be a massive tornado. It is in a prime environment to be putting down a massive tornado right now. So if you're in Prairie Grove, Farmington, Greenland, we need to be taking shelter. This is going to be moving straight for Fayetteville. This is a very populated area. If you were in Fayetteville, Arkansas, this is heading straight for you. Let's see, we got another scan here. Let's see where that CC drop went. This is going to be going right through the city of Prairie Grove. If you were in Prairie Grove, you need to get to your safe spot right now. This is going to be coming through straight through the center of Prairie Grove. Harps, if you're at the Barbella's Mexican Grill or anywhere in the vicinity, this is going to be coming right through that area. It looks like we have a lot of housing developments. It's coming in on the side of the Prairie Grove Public Library. This whole subdivision right here looks like it's probably going to get hit by this tornado. There's a tornado on the ground. This is the worst tornado we have right now. If it's getting ready to move through a very populated area here in Prairie Grove. This is going to move through Prairie Grove and be heading up through Walnut Grove and then Farmington. This is extremely concerning, and this thing has been wobbling all over the place, so it could move significantly from there. So we can see over the last few scans, it was over here by Piney, went up, went down to Clyde, and since then, every scan, it jumped way back up here. So this thing is making a very erratic movement, moving towards Prairie Grove and growing substantially. We're getting a very good debris signature off this one as it moves off to the northeast. So anywhere in this area, you could be affected. It's going to be moving towards Interstate 49, going through Prairie Grove and Walnut Grove. It looks like it might just have barely missed the south side of town. It's right out here. This one is This one's hard to read to know exactly where it's going just because it's on that line and it's moving so erratic. Let's take a look at this one while we're waiting on a scan to go back down there. It looks like we have lost the debris signature on this one. So there it was right here. So it looks like it moved up, went past Highway 7, and kind of fizzled out. It's probably recirculating, though. So anyone in the Lincoln Coal Camp area, make sure we're taking shelter immediately. And Hilda. We take a look at this storm here. It's probably going to recirculate another tornado in this area somewhere. We have another tornado warning down here in Shady Point. Very big inflow signature. Let's see if we have, and it looks like we have a tornado on the ground here in Shady Point as well, just south of Panama. This is where that tornado is occurring. So if you're in Panama, Spiro, Fort Coffee, Pocola, this tornado is right here near Shady Point. If we're in Tehona, Williams. We need to get, just these areas don't have very good traffic cameras. It would be nice if we can pull up some traffic cameras here. Near Fort Smith. Let me see here. Let's see if we can get a view on this one up here. Near Farmington. We still have a tornado on the ground here. Okay, I might have found a camera for us to put up on stream real quick. Let me grab that. Oh my gosh. This is moving right through Greenland. A deep debris signature. Dear Greenland, there's a Drake Airfield, Arkansas Air Military Museum. This is moving off to the northeast, and it is doing damage. If you're anywhere in this area, moving off to the northeast, just south of Fayetteville, this could take a northerly turn and go into the southern half of Fayetteville. But hopefully it's going to stay south and go more in the general vicinity of the Baldwin, just due to the dense population here. There's a ton of houses, as you can see, all here on the south side. Oh my gosh. Baldwin is super packed. This is terrible. If you are in this area, you need to take shelter immediately. Which we should. It's right here on the highway. We might be able to get that pulled up here real quick. Hold on. Let me see. We have this tornado is moving right through here. So this is just up the highway. You're on I-49. This is a massive debris signature. This is a serious situation if you are in Greenland, south of Fayetteville, moving towards Baldwin. This is coming straight for you. There's densely packed houses out here. This is going to be a serious situation. If this does not lift, we are hoping this lifts before it gets over here by Drake, but this is a densely populated area over here in Baldwin. Tons of houses here south of Fayetteville. There's a massive tornado in Greenland right now, moving up Interstate 71. It's getting ready to cross over. It's going right over the Drake field, the airfield here. There's a ton of houses. Looks like the Arkansas Air Military Museum. This is where the tornado is currently. We're going to keep watching this as it moves off to the northeast and see which way it goes. Trying to get pulled up this other traffic cam for you guys. This is just outside of Greenland here. They're getting pelted. A lot of cars still on the interstate. There's a lot of houses out here. So we can see that formation. It stayed on the ground for a long time. This thing has been on the ground for quite a while, all the way over here since Piney. It went up, down, and then went straight into Greenland. The serious situation, let me see. So we still have a big inflow. This is a big mesocyclone right here, an embedded supercell in this line here. We have a huge inflow notch. This thing is not going to be letting up anytime soon. It's moving through Greenland, right over the airfield there in Drake, the Drake airfield. Let me see on velocity. Hopefully we've still have a good velocity signature. Let's hope we've lost some of that CC drop. We have not. So this is a tornado still on the ground, moving off to the northeast, going right over Putnam Hill right now. There's densely packed subdivisions out here. I mean, this is just south of Fayetteville. If it comes over here to the southeast of Fayetteville, this is so many homes. So many homes out here. If you live in Riverwalk, you need to be taking shelter now in the lowest portion of your home, in the centermost portion of your home, ideally in some sort of storm shelter. This is a serious situation. Tornado on the ground, doing massive damage, potentially a life-threatening situation here. Take a look. I am surprised none of the storm chasers are out here on this right now. This velocity signature is up here to the east of, or the west of Rock Island, northwest, moving towards Pocola, Cedar Knob, crossing over the state line into probably Enterprise, Bonanza. Let's see here. This is a massive tornado. Massive tornado. All right, let's go up here to our storm in Missouri again, up here by Lincoln. This one was a tornado on the ground. It did lift. It looks like we still do not have a debris signature on this one anymore, but it does not mean that this one is not going to recycle. If it recycles, it'll probably be right around the Lincoln area. It's just to the northwest of Lincoln. These storms are very serious. They can put down a very large tornado. Oh my gosh. I'm waiting for the next scan here. This is the most concerning one. Large debris signature as it moves off to the northeast. Oh my gosh. Please lift. So all these houses out here. This is a little bit more rural, but it gets much more packed. If that goes any further, I mean, we've got subdivision upon subdivision upon subdivision, just houses all over the place out here. This is just south of Baldwin. If you're tuning in, this is south of Baldwin. This is a tornado on the ground. It's been tracking ever since before Prairie Grove, over here by Clyde, moving to the northeast. This is just to the southeast of Fayetteville, Arkansas. If you are in Harris, if you're in Baldwin, if you're in Wyman, or Goshen, this tornado is on the ground. This is not just a tornado warning. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground, moving off to the northeast, causing destructive damage, the loss of life. So make sure we are getting into an interior-most part of your bedroom, house, or lower floor. Let's wait and see what happens here as we get a new update. Luckily, the other tornado warnings out here don't look to have a debris signature anymore. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So we have a storm here just to the southwest of Bonanza, Pensacola. This is where the tornado would be, is just here near Pensacola. So we might have a little bit of a debris signature. It's hard to say. Let me see here. This tornado might be right here in Pensacola. Come on. If you're in Pensacola and Bonanza, Enterprise, this is where the tornado is going to be heading, right in your vicinity. Looks like we have another rotation over here. If you're in Fort Coffee, Braden, to the north, Paw Paw or Pinot Corner, it's heading towards Fort Smith. This is the most concerning storm we have right now, with a massive tornado on the ground, confirmed signature. Out here just right over Harris. I mean, it's literally going over the Harris subdivision right now. So all these subdivisions out here. The next one is, it's going to be moving up to, heading towards Goshen. This one's been on the ground for quite some time, all the way over here since the Oklahoma-Arkansas border. It has tracked this whole way, and it's been on the ground ever since. It's grew substantially. It looks like we might be letting up a little bit, hopefully, on the velocity signature. This one still does not have a debris signature, but it does still have rotation. If it gets much tighter, they're probably going to extend this tornado warning up here into Smithton and Sedalia, Otterville. So be on the lookout for that. Let's go ahead and take a look just overall at the map. Looks like we're forming another line back here just behind the main line that had just moved through. So any of these discrete storms kind of by themselves, we're going to have to keep an eye on these. So we can see anywhere up here, southern Missouri, we do have severe thunderstorm warnings with the potential of hail. However, there's little bits of rotation here and there, but nothing too concerning. Most of these storms are down here on the southernmost part of the line. Hopefully this one's led to expire as long as we can keep lowering on that velocity signature. Let's take a look here. We are looking like we have maybe an inflow notch in a few places here. Just here near Braden and Highway 9, we do have a velocity couplet forming here, kind of broad rotation. If that comes together, it could produce a tornado. I'm going to go back up here and look at this. Hopefully we've lost the tornado, but I doubt it. So we can see the tornado just here. It went right through Harris, was still on the ground producing debris. It's moving off. It's potentially still on the ground. It does look like that the velocity signature is just right here. So if it's going to be on the ground, it's going to be near the Richland View Church. Moving off to the northeast. So if you're south of Goshen, in between Goshen and Buckeye, heading towards Crossroads. So we can take a look at the severe tornado parameters on the models and see what if anything's kind of coming down. So this is a significant tornado parameter here. Any of the storms in this area have tons of fuel to produce tornadoes if you get the right cell. So this one's kind of floating over that area of instability, having a tornado warning. That is not great. I would say as this one moves into the Fort Smith area and over, has the potential to re-intensify. We'll see as time goes on. So look at that. The tornado parameter spikes tremendously down here. Any of these areas near Fort Smith need to be on the lookout for this storm, especially already producing a tornado. As these parameters spike over the next 30 minutes to an hour, like the parameters are just insane out here. All through Branson, all through down through northwest Arkansas. So this tornado over here is probably going to recycle here in a minute and put down an even larger, bigger tornado. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one again. Okay. Let's see what this one's doing. It's kind of hard because of all the radar hole information. However, it's probably in this area. We'll take a look at velocity real quick. So if there's a tornado, it's going to be in this area right here. Just to the north of Tuttle. Heading towards Crossroads. The good thing is, I think this one's kind of dying out here. We do still have that bend. This is where a lot of the inflow on this storm is going to be happening, so it's probably going to be putting down another tornado here. This one's actually looking a lot more concerning down here near Fort Smith. It's kind of in a bad spot. It's right next to the radar right now. Let's see if we can get a different view on that. I'm going to see if I can get a traffic camera down here near Fort Smith on this tornado warning. Let me see here. We should be able to pull something up here. We have a few traffic cameras in the area. The Oklahoma state line. So this is on Interstate 540. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have had that up. Huge ball of lightning happened right here. This is extremely dangerous, these people parking under here. and it was a cop. The cop was parked under the. Hopefully, he was telling them not to be doing that. This looks like it's trying to form something here. So if you're in Barling, Central City, we need to be taking shelter. You're under a tornado warning. This is possibly going to be putting down a tornado right now if it isn't already. This looks like it might be a debris signature here close to Cluster Boulevard. Let me go in here and take a look. Yeah, this is a tornado on the ground here, just south of Fort Chafe. So we've got the hook echo right here, embedded supercell in this line. This is going to be moving off to the northeast. So if you're in Central City, anywhere on Highway 22, this is going to be heading right in your direction. It looks like it's right over subdivision right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at correlation coefficient. Yeah, this is a tornado on the ground right now, just south of Fort Chafe. Lines right up with the velocity signatures. This is moving off to the northeast. It's going to be hitting Central City here before too long. If you're anywhere in the vicinity, out here by White and Shelby Cemetery. Looks like they just extended this. This is an observed tornado on the ground. See, as soon as it got out from under that radar, then we were able to see that it's an actual tornado. But while it's right there at the radar site, we couldn't really see what was going on. Let's go ahead and take a look. So this is the velocity signature right here. It's going to be crossing over Highway 22. Just went through all of this subdivision here. So Fort Chafe Police Department. Looks like it might have took a direct impact. Yeah. Looks like the Fort Chafe Police Department potentially took a direct impact. The equipment site concentration. If you're in Central City, you need to be taking shelter immediately. All right. So potentially large and dangerous tornado moving into Central City. We're going to come back up here and make sure the one up here that moved through Goshen. So we have another velocity signature just here south of Hinesville. Looks like they've extended this. Radar indicated. This is going to be another tornado on the ground. If you're in Hartwell, just to the northeast of Hartwell, make sure we're taking shelter. This tornado is going to put down another one, or this storm is going to put down another tornado right here. It's going to be moving up to the northeast towards Forum, Alabama, and continue to move northeast. And they're putting an extended warning on this because it's probably going to be a long track tornado, probably putting down numerous tornadoes along its path. We can see this here near Central City. This little hook right here. That's where the tornado is going to be. It looked like it might have lifted, put down a brief tornado through the city here, and it lifted probably around the Central City area. Observed tornado. If you're in Lavaca, Beverly, Vesta, this is heading in your direction. It's currently over here near Diamond Grove in Central City. This is the rotation of the storm right here. Still have this like little hook. We've got a good inflow coming into the front of the storm. We have a debris signature starting to show up here again, just near Huntsville. In Arkansas. This tornado's already been on the ground before, over here near Goshen, Baldwin, Greenland. It moved just to the south of Fayetteville. It looks like it recycled, and it's going to be putting down another tornado just here near Huntsville. Moving off to the northeast through Albam and Old Albam. This is in a prime environment for tornado genesis. Let's take a look here. So I want to take a look at this one up here in Missouri. It's been a little bit. It doesn't look like it has a debris signature on it. Let's take a look at velocities. Pretty wide, broad velocities. This one's not as concerning to me right now. Let me see here. So it looks like Aaron J-Jack is kind of coming up the backside of the storm. He's going to probably be getting in front of it here very shortly. I'll be right back. All right, I've got to get some earbuds that don't go dead. Sitting here talking to myself. Had to step away and get a drink real quick. This looks like it's reformulating here. This is the one that just went to the south of Fayetteville. Had a tornado on the ground, did a lot of damage. Probably went through Baldwin. There was a lot of subdivision and houses. We're going to try to find some information on that. This is moving off to the northeast pretty quickly now. This is an observed tornado warning. So let's go ahead and pull this up and take a look at velocities. It's actually losing a lot of its velocity signature. Yeah, I would assume this is potentially dropped. Might not have a tornado now, but there is still a rotation signature here with a big inflow notch. So let's make sure if we're up here just outside of Huntsville, to the northeast of Huntsville, in between Huntsville and Green Forest, that we're taking shelter. This could put down another tornado. It has the shape, it has the inflow. Make sure we're taking shelter at all possible. Let's go back down here to Lavaca. Lavaca. This was a tornado on the ground as well, over here near Fort Chafe, south of Barling. Let me see what we got. Okay. It doesn't look like we currently have a tornado on the ground. But I would not put it past this one to drop another tornado. These are cells that did produce tornadoes that were on the ground. So if you are in a tornado-warned area, make sure we are taking shelter immediately all the way up to Ozark. Let's see. This has got another 20 minutes on this tornado warning. Looks like we got a tornado warning all the way over here in Festus. Oh, this one looks really interesting. Hold on. We are getting a circulation. This is like the iconic supercell formation here. We've got this nice little hook echo starting to form here. Let's take a look and see if we can see any CC drop here. We definitely need to be keeping an eye on this one. This one's all the way up here near St. Louis, just to the south side of St. Louis and Festus. All of these small cells out in front of the storm have the potential to go tornadic. Let's come back here and take a look at these. We have a tornado warning still on this storm up by Sedalia. How long do we have? We have another 3 minutes on this. I think it's going to be allowed to expire. It looks like it's dropped a lot of its rotation. It's very broad rotation right now. This one should be allowed to be dropped. Still is keeping the tornado possible tag on these severe thunderstorm warnings. These storms over here near Nixa, saying tornado possible. If down here in Golden, this might be a tornado, a small little spin up tornado. Let me take a look, make sure it's just not in a radar hole. Ooh, that one that's probably a radar hole. Dang. That one looked like it might have been a small little spin up over here, just near the Arkansas border. But if you take a look at that and we zoom in, reflectivity, it's kind of in a radar, like just a hole in the radar for the reflectivity. Says tornado possible. Let's just double check this with correlation coefficient. We'll keep an eye on that over the next scan or so. Which I don't understand why. Okay. So as those storms have moved on past Fort Smith, let's see if we can get another view of this storm on radar for you guys. Let me see if we can get a traffic camera kind of in front of the storm here. We might be able to get a traffic camera here just in front of the storm. Let's see what I can do for you guys. It's getting ready to move over the top of this traffic camera here. So right now this traffic camera is just to the north here on I-40. The storm's getting ready to move over the top of it. We got some hail here, so some of these people might start stopping here on the interstate, pulling over. See here. Anything else going on? Okay, we've got a storm just here northeast of Springfield that has issued a tornado warning. We had a little spin up here, it looks like. Not showing anything on. So it was 8:15. So right over here by Highway 38 in Duncan, is going to be moving out towards Boyer and Loring. You need to be taking shelter anywhere in Grove Spring and Smiddle, St. George, Durbin. We need to be taking shelter here to the east of Springfield, moving off to the northeast. The current rotation is right over Duncan right now. Current rotation is right here. And this is getting to be its own little cell out here, so this could put down a pretty decent rotation and tornado. We've got a good inflow notch coming into the storm here. It's kind of off by itself. Let's go up here and take a look at this Festus storm, because this the look of this one's actually getting very impressive. Hold on. I mean, the look is so impressive, but it doesn't have that great of a velocity signature. I'd say once these combine, typically what we'll see is this one up here in Sekmen. If this one is going to catch it, and these all kind of combine together, it's going to produce probably a much larger system. It's going to recirculate, reorganize, and usually it intensifies very quickly when that happens. So we'll see if these kind of join together, which this one might be outrunning it. I don't know. Kind of keep an eye on that. This one over here outside of Springfield looks a little more impressive on velocity. And we do have a debris signature. This is a tornado on the ground just to the east of Springfield. Looks to be a little bit of a smaller tornado, but it is out here by Duncan, moving out towards Boyer and Loring. If you're in Grove Spring, in Smiddle, make sure we are taking shelter immediately. You guys are in a tornado warning. This is a confirmed a tornado from radar with a debris signature. So this is moving off to the northeast, out here near Highway F. We've still got a inflow here. This is kind of a supercellular storm, looking pretty good. So this is going to continue on and move over Highway 5. Make sure we're taking shelter immediately on this one. This is a tornado on the ground. I think it's the only tornado on the ground right now. Let me go through and take a look at all of them. One that we can confirm from radar at least. Do is put that on that. It's kind of in a little bit of a radar hole there. So that's the most considerable one we have right now up here in Missouri. Just to the east of Marshfield now. This is a more rural area, however, there are houses out here. I mean, we've got houses all through, throughout here. It's a little more rural, but this is a tornado on the ground. And we can see that by doing a correlation coefficient. It actually might have lifted. Let's go back. So this CC drop right here. When we see that, we know that there's debris being lofted in the air. The CC drop is saying that, okay, all this is about the same size, so this is the rain and stuff falling. That's the red and stuff like that. If it starts getting green and blue, a deep blue CC drop means heavy debris signature. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, as everything else is one color. And then right where a velocity signature is, we're seeing that CC drop. So right here over Duncan, we have a little couplet, and that pairs up with our correlation coefficient. So we know that there was a tornado on the ground near Duncan. Make sure we're taking shelter. This could put down another tornado. This one's getting a much more impressive hook echo on it here on this line just to the south of Green Forest. All right. Looks like we're down to 4 tornado warnings. These two here over by Harrison, the one outside of up here by Marshfield, and up here by Festus. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at this one. It's pretty much lost its velocity. Maybe a little bit right here still. This one still has a good little velocity couplet on it. So if you're near Duncan, to the northeast of Duncan, make sure we're taking shelter. This one was on the ground. And it could put down another tornado. We'll let that loop for a second, and I'm surprised we let that, hold up. I'm surprised I let that one go, being it was on the ground. That's quite interesting. I would definitely, this still has a velocity couplet here. Still be taking that very serious. Just between Marshfield and Hartville. This one looks like it might start wrapping up again. I'm going to keep an eye on that one real quick. Try to do this real quick. All right, let's take a look at this one again. Looks like a lot of the rotation is kind of went away here. There we go. Up here in St. Joseph, looks like we got some tornado warnings. this line here. This looks like a little more tighter rotation up here just south of St. Joseph. Let's see if we got... Take a look at this. Need the people in the path of this in St. Joseph, Saxton. Make sure we're taking shelter. That's where this velocity couplet is right here, just to the south of St. Joseph, moving to the northeast towards Saxon. We've got down here another tornado warning issued with rotation near New Market, Camden Point, going over towards Edgerton. Let's treat this as if there's potential for a tornado on the ground. Let's get to shelter. All right. All right, let's take a look here real quick. Currently, we have 3 tornado warnings. One still down here in Harrison, Arkansas, and the other 2 up by St. Joseph. St. Joseph, I mean, the rotation isn't super significant, but there is rotation up there. We need to make sure that we're taking our safer area serious. If you're in that tornado polygon, let's get to a safer area. Still have a little bit of rotation. This stuff is not, like, it's kind of broad. It's not really tightened up. I mean, this one looks a lot better on storm relative. So somewhere in this area in Interstate 412, I would be concerned moving just to the east of Harrison. Going to be moving to the northeast here shortly between Interstate 412, Interstate 62. So if you're in Hugh, Lick Branch, Little, Arkansas, the first town is probably going to come in contact with is Alpena. We're going to keep an eye on that one. That one's a little more robust than these were up here. These could spin up, though. This one's becoming much more apparent. Up here near Kyle, Maxie, Richie. This is just south of St. Joseph, moving off to the northeast. The next small little town is going to be the Saxon area. Right now, this is going to be located near Richie. Let's take a look at correlation coefficient, see if there's something in this area. It's just so hard because we get these radar holes at times, so it's hard to see what's actually going on right there. I would definitely be taking shelter just here to the south of St. Joseph, moving off to the northeast. We'll come back up here and take a look. I'm after the next scan here. me see. Gonna wait on that next radar scan to come through. This one I'm not as concerned about just because it doesn't have that great of a velocity signature on it. Let's take a look at correlation coefficient. I don't think this one's going to be on the ground. Definitely be taking your safe shelter because it did have rotation on it. It could pop back up. Over here in Newmarket, Camden Point, Egerton. This one's looking a lot more robust as it moves over towards Interstate 29. It's going to be moving up towards Saxton. Looks like we got another tornado warning down here. In Arkansas, just to the northeast of Charleston. Areas impacted look like it's going to be Altus, Denning, Ozark, Webb City. Make sure we're taking shelter. This is the rotation right here, moving off to the northeast. It looks like it's going to be going right towards Altus. That'd be the concerning part of the storm that we need to be watching out for. If you're in the city of Altus or the surrounding area, make sure we're taking shelter just south of I-40. This is the rotating part of the storm. Let's see correlation, see if there's anything going on here. Rotation would be right here. This is where the tornado would be, just to the southwest of Altus. If you're in the city of Altus or the surrounding area, make sure we're taking shelter. It looks like there's a lot of towns. It's going to be entering on the side of the Liberty Cemetery over here near the Altus Denning High School. So it's going to be entering on the southwest side if it's on the ground. Let's take a look at this other tornado warning up here by Harrison real quick. This looks like where the rotation probably is on the storm. There's kind of two areas of slight rotation on this. Right here and right here. Looks like there's a potential rotation up here just outside of Hollister in Missouri. Let me see. They could potentially put a tornado warning on this if that gets much more intense, just moving off to the northeast. Just out over here past 65 and between 65 and Interstate 160, just to the south of Forsyth. This little hook right here would be the concerning portion of the storm here. Let's jump back up here to the ones just south of Platte City, or just to the south of St. Joseph. So yeah, this one looks like it's mostly lit up on the southern side. We still have rotation up here, crossed over Interstate 29. Let's take a look at if there's any CC drops in the area. I mean, it looks like there could be CC drops. It could be, a lot of hail kind of blocking the radar. Let's take a look at this. Because, see, we got all this portion up here right to the north of this side of the storm, so it could be blocking the rotation on the storm. So it could be blocking rotation. It could be blocking a potential debris signature. Let's take this as if it's on the ground. It's right here at Saxton, moving off to the northeast, near Interstate 36. So if you're in San Antonio, Hurlington, Clarksville, that's the direction it's going. It should be crossing here very shortly over Interstate 36, and it should be in the vicinity of Interstate 36 and Highway Z. This is a really good inflow notch right here, too. We still got our velocity couplet there. I would really like to see... There might be a tornado on the ground here, just based on this. This radar hole just keeps following the rotation signature. That makes it really hard. Let's go ahead and let's go from this angle. Might be able to get a better viewpoint on this. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to go here. So we can still see that velocity couplet, correlation. It's hard to say. This could be potentially some debris up in the air. We're going to have to keep watching this storm. It's very interesting. We do have a tight rotation here. So just south, moving off to the southeast of St. Joseph, Missouri. Let's come back down here to this storm. It's one that was moving toward Altus. Might have a debris signature right here at Altus, to be honest. If we look at velocity, I think this is the spot that had the rotation initially. So we can kind of see it here. There's rotation, and as it moved off. So that might have been... That's probably a debris signature right there. This was probably a tornado on the ground. Moved through Altus. Make sure we're taking shelter anywhere in this vicinity. Just north, if you're north of Interstate 46, over here by the wine cellar and Weinekeller restaurant. This is just off to your southwest. This is a debris signature on the ground. Let's go ahead and take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning in Jefferson City. And then we're going to go back to those tornado warnings up there in St. Joseph. We do have some velocity signatures here near Jefferson City. You guys see that? So right here would probably be the most concerning of them. Okay. We have just the two tornado warnings, the one up here in St. Joseph and the one down in Arkansas. This one's interesting. Whenever you see this on a storm where you have this kind of notch out on a line of storm, this is a QLCS line of storms here. They're all kind of embedded supercells up and down this line. Whenever you get these like little notches right here where you see down by Camden Point, this one's a really large notch out. This is an inflow where a lot of the wind is flowing into the storm, which is causing this kind of spinning motion. And typically what you see on these supercellular storms is this kind of like if they were by themselves out in the open, it's this little hook area right here. And this is where a tornado is going to be, is right in this hook area. So in this storm, that's why we have this rotation here. This is an inflow. Air moving into the storm. We can see it right here, the reds and the greens. So this is right near Saxton, moving off to the northeast. So if you're over here, Interstate 36, this is where the tornado is going to be. Looks like we got another tornado warning out here in Missouri. We see this little couplet out here. Might even be a little bit of a debris signature. Let's take a look at reflectivity. So yeah, this is kind of the standard supercell look whenever it's out here. It doesn't look extremely healthy, but you got your little hook, and that's kind of your storm there. So as long as there's a rotation right in this area. So if you're over here in near Highway 32, just to the east, southeast of Viburnum. Why do we make names so crazy on these towns? Can't name them like something simple, like Red Point. Okay, so East End, if you're near East End, Highway 32, Maxwell's Mill, out here by the Council Bluff recreation area, this is where that tornado is going to be moving off more to the northeast. Let's take a look at that velocity over the next scan. It's a pretty tight little couplet we got down here, which is quite interesting. But that's what happens when you get these discrete cells out in front or behind the storm sometimes. They can produce a pretty sizable tornado. So this is kind of out here in the front. We need to keep a very close eye on these little cells out here by themselves. This one looks like the most healthy out here. We're going to come back down here to Altus. This one kind of was losing its velocity signature the last time, but let's take a look here. Yeah. This one's not as concerning as it went through Altus. It seems to have dropped. Now this is on kind of a line. It could have brief spin-ups pretty quickly. Let's go back up there to the north and wait on a scan for this one. This one actually looks like it's dropped its tornado warning. It's very surprising today that the storms have not been as impressive. There's been a couple that have been pretty impressive, especially down here in kind of the Oklahoma area. But a lot of this was all the way up into Missouri and into Arkansas. The most impressive one over here in Arkansas that I've seen went through just to the south of Fayetteville. Let's take a look at this one. I don't think we've got an updated radar scan on this yet. We're going to wait on this one. This one's the most impressive. The other ones have kind of lost their velocity. So the one down here in Arkansas, not that great of velocity. The one up in St. Joseph seems to have lost its ump, and they've taken away that tornado warning. It's been allowed to expire. This one over here near Viburnum is the most concerning. Let's go ahead and be nice to get some visuals on these, but it doesn't seem to be the case. This one does seem to be growing, so if you're just to the south of Potosi or in Potosi, make sure we're taking shelter. This is a tornado warning moving in your direction. It looks like it's a growing supercell out in front of the storms. So we want to be mindful of this and take shelter if at all possible. This is going to be right out here by Maxwell's Mill in the east end, moving off to the northeast. All right. We get a new radar scan on this one yet? So this was from 8:47. This was 3 minutes ago. So if there's a tornado, it's going to be right here to the east of East End, heading towards Highway 32, off to the northeast. If you're in near Maxwell's Mill, make sure we're taking shelter. The good thing is this one's in a fairly rural area. Looks like a growing velocity signature. And see, a lot of people are like, well, this is a pretty small storm compared to this all over here. But these are the ones we're concerned about. The ones that are kind of discrete by themselves. They have the biggest potential of putting down much larger tornadoes. The good news is it's the only tornado warning we have currently out there in Missouri. It's over here in Caledonia area. Moving off to the northeast, Potosi will be the next location that it's going to come in contact with. It does have an increasing velocity signature, so that's what is the most concerning about this storm. It's right over Highway 32 right now near Maxwell's Mill. So Council Bluffs recreation area, we have some campgrounds out here. That's what always worries me because people are out there in their campers. And it doesn't take a very large wind gust or tornado to turn a camper over. So if you're out here near Wild Boar Ridge Campground, make sure we're taking shelter immediately. Let's see here. go ahead and take a look at some of these other storms while we're waiting on that radar scan to come in. Do have a pretty big cell up here in near Jefferson City as it's moving off to the northeast. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, moving about 50 miles an hour to the northeast. Come down here and look. So these actually still have a tornado possible tag on them just because of the area they're in right now. If we take a look at this, you can see these little areas. I mean, this is pretty high wind speeds for such a bright red. This is wind moving away from the radar, so this is pushing through. So if you're in Ava, you're probably going to be experiencing here very shortly some pretty high winds moving through the area, probably 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds or larger. That's what we have on here, 60-mile-an-hour winds with 3/4 inch hail. So all these areas, when the wind's moving that fast, typically it can cause little pockets and little spin-ups, little tornadoes out on the front edge of these storms, just because the wind and everything is moving so quick out here on the front. Two, we can get little pockets of air that kind of flow into the storm and cause small tornadoes as well that move off, and that's why we have this tornado possible tag here, moving off to the northeast. Let's go back up here and take a look at our pretty impressive little storm out here over near, out here in the Mark Twain National Forest. So this is moving over here near Maxwell's Mill. Like we said, there's some campgrounds out here, so that's the most concerning thing that it's currently near, probably some home and residential area. This is moving, let's see where was those campgrounds at? There's a lot of trails out here. There it is, right up here. So this is actually getting very close. This is the rotation right here. This is the campground out here, the Wild Boar Ridge Campground. So it's getting pretty close to you. Probably very high winds, 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds coming in on this. Also, you're going to be getting some hail up here, more to the north actually, out here by Sunlight, Horntown, and Belgrade. Let's take a look at this new signature. This new scan that came around. We do have a debris ball here, so this is on the ground. This tornado is on the ground in Highway DD, just to the north of Highway 32. So just to the north of Maxwell's Mill. This is moving right out here by the Council Bluff Recreation Area, moving right near the Wild Boar Ridge Campground. If you're in this area, make sure we're taking shelter. This is going to be moving just to the east or right near the Chapel Hill Beach. Moving up towards Hortontown and Sunlight. If you're over here in Belgrade, I would be taking shelter. This is up to 1-inch hail. So if you're out there camping, you probably got hit with some pretty decent, large sized hail. So this is a debris signature right here. And that's how we can confidently say from a radar that we have a tornado making contact with the ground. This is throwing debris up in the air. And it looks like it was just on that scan, so it's probably just as it passed over Highway 32, started making contact with the ground near this Maxwell's Mill, moving off, pretty much staying in line with Highway DD. So it's going to kind of trek up along that, up towards Hortontown and Sunlight. See here. It's the only tornado warning we currently have. We're going to kind of keep an eye on this one, make sure that nothing too crazy happens, because this is a cell out here by itself. It looks like velocities are starting to pick up. So as these become more red and more defined, more bright greens, that means that the velocity signatures are becoming much stronger. So let's go ahead and take a look at storm relative so we can see this. So this is the winds moving away, and this is the winds moving towards the radar. So that just shows you that on either side of this tornado, it's moving very quickly in either direction. So here on storm relative velocity, we can see that very well. We go back to regular velocity. It's a little harder to see, but you can see this is the winds moving away. This is the winds moving toward. And then we can look at the correlation coefficient. And this tornado is on the ground. That's a good debris signature. That's called a CC drop right here on correlation coefficient. This is things getting thrown in the air. Let's take a look real quick. I'm gonna pull exactly where this is. We'll take a look at what that area looks like. If you're in the vicinity of this, just to the north of Maxwell Mills, it's moving up Highway DD near Chapel Hill Beach. What I'm going to do is zoom in here, try to get the coordinates for this. So this is where we're at. So this has just moved past the campgrounds over here. It's right out here near Highway DD. It's moving up to the northeast. So luckily this is a lot of Mark Twain National Forest out here, but there are people camping. There are houses out here. I mean, this is moving right over near this house. Multiple houses and barns. So there are houses out here. There are other things. There are people camping out here. As this moves up to the northeast, we do have some schools. We do have a small town up here as well, Belgrade. Luckily, this is in a pretty rural area, but there are houses, so let's make sure we're taking shelter if you're in any of these areas, all the way over to Belgrade. If it'll load, we'll be able to see this. I mean, this is a town here. The tornado is right out here. It's moving up to the northeast. I mean, we can see that right here. So here's Highway 32. It's moving up to the northeast. There's Belgrade. This is all the Horton Town. I mean, there's houses all out here. There's barns, houses, people camping. So this is the real deal. This is a tornado on the ground causing damage right now. And if we look at this, if this storm here, so what will happen is if this storm catches up and eats into that, this thing could get much bigger. So this whole storm system right here could get much bigger if this storm kind of combines with it and keeps moving off to the northeast. So if you're in Potosi, Mineral Point, Somerset, make sure we are keeping weather aware, as this storm could continue to intensify or continue to grow and potentially put down another tornado after this one kind of dies off and goes up into the storm. This storm is out here by itself. I don't see anything that's going to possibly degrade it. I would say if it gets eaten by this, we'll be all right. If this little cell right here makes it up into the storm, it's probably going to intensify. And we can see this rotation signature here is continuing to increase. Would really like to we'll wait on that next scan to come in. I'm going to be posting some of the stuff that moved through Fayetteville, reposting on my Twitter here. Home completely destroyed. Wow. Okay. Let's come back to our tornado warning here. It's still the only tornado warning. It is an observed tornado warning on the ground. Let's see what the source was. A radar confirmed tornado. Let's see if we still got a CC drop, which is going to confirm it's still on the ground. Look how big that CC drop is. I mean, this is probably throwing so many trees up in the air. That's insane. So this was at 1 minute ago. I mean, that's a pretty sizable CC drop there. I mean, I wouldn't expect that big of a CC drop for just that velocity couplet. But look at that thing grow. You can see it. It's all red. This is where it started on the ground here. See the first scan. There is a CC drop right there, and then it just grew. Every frame is grew. It's a very serious situation. Like I said, that cell is probably going to continue to grow, especially if it absorbs these other cells. What we can hope for is it kind of gets swallowed by these other storms back behind it. But if it stays out here in front by itself with this rotation, it's probably going to continue to intensify. All right. Luckily, everything is kind of tamed down. We need to see. I forget. Here over in Oklahoma is where we had some pretty intense storms come through the area. Let's take a look here at I mean, this is the most concerning thing right now. Is this little cell out here in Missouri heading up towards St. Louis. Tornado warning says it's due to expire in 6 minutes. However, I mean, it still has velocity. I mean, it still has a velocity signature here, so CC drop, velocity signature, like, they're going to have to, if this does not go away, they're going to have to issue another tornado warning, probably going to extend it out here further. Which is mostly moving just due north, slightly to an eastwardly. Which that's probably good, because these storms over here should catch up to it. Let's go ahead and see what these other storms are doing. They're all kind of moving out of that northeast. But look at that ball on the end. So this is where the tornado typically is going to form. And as we move off, look at it. It just grows and grows and grows. The body of the storm is growing. I think it's going to grow even more as these storms kind of intermingle with it. This is a very concerning storm. Which we need to come out here. There's homes up here. If this keeps taking that northwardly turn, if you're in Levy, Shirley, make sure you're taking shelter now. Let's see what we got. I mean, every scan, it's still it's still on the ground. Let's see what we got here. Go ahead and post this real quick. The good news is I feel like once this storm is done, it will probably be the end of our severe potential for tornadoes. Most of these other storms just don't look very organized. Part of a big line and just a big rain and hail maker now. It's just crazy to me that the regular velocity signature is not that crazy on this storm. This one looks more impressive, the storm relative, but this thing's chomping up all the trees, I guess. This is just here near the intersection of Highway C and Highway Z, just to the south of Floyd and to the southwest of Potosi. And this is causing debris. It's heading right for Levy and Shirley. If you're in Levy or Shirley, we need to be taking shelter right now. This is a confirmed tornado, and it's not letting up. It's kind of a discrete cell out here by itself. Which luckily it's kind of outrunning this other cell down here. Let me see. I'm surprised we're not getting this notification. Go ahead and take this. We got a new radar scan in. Looks like the velocity might be slowing down on this one. Kind of getting a little more broad here. Let's take a look over the last few scans. So see how much brighter this was between the red and the green as this thing's moved off. It's still bright, and now it's kind of broadening, kind of losing that that velocity couplet. So more than likely this is going to let up, and I think it's because luckily it outran itself instead of absorbing the energy and kind of recirculating. So we see this storm down south is actually growing more than what the northern storm is. This is where that tornado is in that cell. It's losing its velocity. I think the southern storm's pulling, kind of cutting off that inflow. Most of the inflow is coming into this southern storm. So we'll see what happens with that southern storm. I think this is going to be allowed to expire with the current warning. So this is kind of tucking up, what we call is occluding. It's occluding up into the current circuit, into the current supercell. So this thing will probably occlude up into itself or get cut off by this other storm. It should start to dissipate over time. But if you're up here anywhere in this area, it's just weird. It's still holding its shape, even with this storm right in front of it. What we want to see is this thing just continuing to kind of dissipate. This is what I was worried about. So I'm going to kind of show you guys something real quick. So you see how much rotation was here. Over time, it is slowly dissipated up here to almost be gone. The problem is the southern storm that's right below it. Guess what? There's rotation starting to form down here. So this southern storm, if we look at it just below this polygon, I'll put my crosshair right here. This is where the circulation's starting to happen. The southern storm will probably start to get a little bit of a hook echo and probably take over, and probably almost trail the exact same path that this tornado just did. Let's go ahead and take a look at reflectivity. So this is on that southern edge of this storm. This storm right here will probably become the new circulation. So this one should die out. The circulation should go away, and the new circulation is going to start right back down here. Pretty much right over the campground again. It'll probably come in somewhere around Belgrade. If you're in Belgrade, you need to take shelter. It looks like there's a cemetery up here, some houses, a small little, there's a school, and a few different houses. So if you're in Belgrade, make sure that you're probably taking shelter. It would not surprise me if you had another tornado forming just to your south. And you can see that on both velocities. See how much duller this one is and how much brighter these are right down here by the the campground. So this is that tornado that's doing damage. We'd take a look at storm relative, and this is it's a much nicer circulation starting to form. So we're seeing that increase in velocity signature. Looks like we have a little bit of a velocity signature over here. Let me take a look at. Looks like we might have a potential for a small spin up over here near Steelville. We have that velocity signature right here. It wouldn't surprise me if that gets much tighter. They're probably going to issue a tornado warning for this. It looks like we have actually two areas of rotation, one here and one here. This is definitely an area of rotation. So if you're over here just near the northeast of Steelville, this is definitely an area of rotation. So moving up towards Cuba. If you're in Cuba, there's an area of rotation just to your south, moving up towards I-44. Which is crazy because there's a few areas of rotation. I mean, there's a rotation down here on this probably storm right here, just near Salem. There's a rotation up here near Steelville, moving up towards Cuba. This one right here, they might issue a tornado warning for it. If you're in Cuba, Leesburg, let's go ahead and keep weather aware and get ready to take shelter. Increased velocity. I guarantee you, if that one more scan, they'll probably issue that as a tornado warning, heading up towards Cuba. So, some rotation here. I'm gonna check the correlation coefficient and see if there's anything happening. It doesn't look like anything's on the ground. This one is still on the ground. Moving towards Highway 8, just to the east of Levy. I mean, there's a few houses out here. I mean, Lost Creek Cemetery. We have houses all the way out here near Highway 8. The crazy thing is, this rotation is still down here, just outside of Peoria. I'm going to wait on that next scan and see what happens with this one. I'm surprised they haven't issued a tornado warning on this this right here with the extended rotation that's just became stronger and stronger over the last few frames. I would assume they're going to issue some sort of tornado warning that includes Cuba, Leesburg, Bourbon. So as this gets closer to the St. Louis, I mean, look at this storm. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is actually going to catch up to that storm. It's going to recirculate. There's already circulation happening down here. If you're in Potosi, I would be watching out. It's probably going to pass right to the west side of Potosi. There's going to be a new circulation forming. This is going to get completely cut off by this storm behind it. And then there's probably going to be a much bigger tornado than was produced initially. So this tornado warning has been allowed to expire. However, I think when this one takes over, as long as this larger cell off to the west of it does not overtake it, it probably will cause another spin-up tornado within the same area that this first one was. So we're just gonna have to wait and see, because this is kind of taking over, and it's gonna take that shape of a supercell. That's that original one right here, and then more than likely this southern one will form. I want to keep an eye on this Cuba one. The lucky thing is we have no tornado warnings right now. We'll be able to know what's happening with this Cuba storm after probably this next scan. And if not, then if that kind of dies out and everything kind of just gets swallowed by the main line of convection, then we'll probably just call it there, because at that point the likelihood of a tornado is going to be much less. I'd say this one in Potosi is going to be our biggest chance for a larger tornado again, which we'll just watch it over the next couple frames here and kind of go from there. Because this is the only thing that concerns me, is we're getting another rotation to the southern end of this. This one's going away, and usually it's called a handoff. It's going to hand off to the bottom side of the storm, and it's going to generate a new tornado. But with that other line of storms here, right behind it, hopefully it pushes into it and that all goes away. And it just becomes one line of heavy rain and maybe some hail. Because what I would like to do real quick is take a look at the tornado parameter right now. So this is the significant tornado parameter at the moment. So a lot of the tornado parameter is still down here in Little Rock. Oh man! All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're looking like for tomorrow while we're waiting on this this update. See, that one's been issued another tornado warning. Because of that southern thing, the National Weather Service is seeing the same thing. Radar indicated we have an increased velocity here. I mean, they're watching the same thing I'm watching. So this is why we've been issued a new tornado warning.